You're listening to Drinks and a Movie with your host, Rudy. Spoiler alert.
Yo, rolling Drinks and a Movie podcast. We're back. We got a special episode, everybody. We're talking 1999. Is it 98 or 99? I'm already forgetting. The late 90s, you know, before the MCU, before Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. 99? Before the X-Men. We had Batman in 1989 and all that, but we had Darkman, we had Blankman, but we're talking Mystery Men with the all-star cast of Ben Stiller, William H. Macy, Greg Kinnear, Janeane Garofalo, Paul Rubens, Kel Mitchell, Eddie Izzard. Even Michael Bay has a cameo in this movie. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. I feel like I'm missing someone important. Hank Azaria. Yeah. But anyway, I'm here with my dear good friend Shane. First time on the show. Thanks for joining me, dude.
Hello, everyone.
Former co-host of The Real Generation Gap, which is that other wacky YouTube show that I review movies on now. That I don't talk about much on here, but yeah, you used to do that. So they can find you on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm on The Real Generation Gap, the first few episodes, reviewing some movies with the quacky co-host Fred.
Fred Satilli, everybody.
Fred Satilli.
But yeah, for this one, everyone. So I know I'm dragging this out. We're talking Mystery Men, like I mentioned, from 99. And we're going to drink some Old Forester. This is just the 100 proof, the signature, the flagship. You know, they got the 86 proof one. This is the 100. Yeah, classic Old Forester bourbon from Brown-Forman. And I've never actually had this one by itself. I've had it in Old Fashions a bunch of times. Never actually tried it neat. So this is actually the first time for me. I believe the first time for you. But Old Forester, you can't go wrong with their products. I'm a big fan of their Whiskey Roast series. We talk about that stuff all the time on the show. Like we're always hitting the 1920 and the 1910. Old Forester single barrels I talk about a lot. But yeah, this bottle is known for being very versatile. Great for cocktails, great for sipping neat as well, I hear. And it's only, I think, $25 or so. $25. So let's dig in. Sorry, I don't know if maybe you wanted another glass with ice. But.
Let me take my cough drop out. Respect you a little bit here.
It might not taste that
cleanse
great.
my palate.
Yeah. That's going to be rough.
It adds to it for me. It's an experience.
Oh, it smells super sweet. Shane's going in for the sip. This smells like candy, just like hard red candy. A little medicinal cherry. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a nerd.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm like, smells like whiskey.
Yeah. That's it, yeah. Smells like whiskey.
No, but you know what? From hanging out with you, I've learned that, like, not everything tastes like Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
And that can be a huge difference.
Yeah.
It is, because I can drink this.
Yeah.
I can sit here and sip this. This is
cool.
cool.
Jack Daniels Old No. 7, not so great. There are other products, though. Bangers.
I think my first experience with whiskey was Johnny Walker Red. Someone gifted me a bottle like on my 21st birthday, and I didn't even like think to look into anything. I'm like, oh, this is good stuff. And it was like the most absolute disgusting thing I've ever had in my life.
I haven't had Johnny Walker Red in a long time. When I was first trying out whiskeys, I tried it out and I thought it was fine. And then I went to the black and I'm like, all right, this is better.
Yeah.
But I'm not into scotches at all. And I've since tried the green and the fucking blue one that's like $300-$400 or whatever. And they're all fine. You know, they're whatever. Not for me. I'm a bourbon rye guy for sure. But yeah, this has that like, you know, quintessential caramel note.
It is sweet. It is sweet. It could be the residue of the cough drop, but
it is sweet.
It's pretty sweet.
It has like, it's funny that you have the cough drop. Is it like a flavored one? Because this has that like medicinal cherry a little bit. It's
actually like a menthol one.
Okay. Yeah, I will say, I mean, I think I may have had my hopes up for this one. I thought it was going to be quite, like I know, all right, it's a $25 bottle, 100 proof, which is good. Old Forester you can't go wrong with, but I think I had high expectations for it. Regardless, like it was going to be.
But this is the one that you said they at the Cove, right? When they make
they use this in the well.
Yeah, so I think the Cove is a bar Rudy takes me to all the time that I've grown more acquainted to, and he's gotten me into ordering the old fashioned there. So this is what I like that.
Yeah.
But that's also got stuff in it.
Yeah, I think it's either this one or the 86 proof version.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure it's this one most of the time because it cuts through in the cocktail more, and that's what you like.
Really?
That's what I like.
So you think it's like lackluster now, having it straight or neat?
A little bit, yeah. I think I was expecting like a little more flavor, just a little light, you know, which, I mean, again, for the price point, and it's not bad. It's like, it's got that medicinal cherry. It's got like the hint of caramel as it should. Like it's quintessential bourbon, you know?
So how do they get that stuff in there? Like, what is medicinal cherry? You talking like cherry cough drop flavor, or
yeah, like kind of like a
Robitussin?
Robitussin
cherry?
People, yeah, that's the note, like Robitussin. Yeah.
Okay. But how do they like? What is that? It's just from the wood.
It just comes from the wood. Yeah. Every bit of flavor and color comes from like the wood, right? They char the oak so that like chemically breaks it down so that it like takes in the whiskey, you know, the distillate in and out as the weather changes and it expands and contracts and all that over the years. And then that's where it soaks up the flavor. So
like what's the best climate then for that, or like where you get all 4 seasons kind of place? Or?
Yeah, like that's why like Kentucky bourbon and all that's popular because they get like really hot, humid summers. And they'll get snowy winters and everything. But there's also, you know, Texas bourbon is becoming better, or Texas whiskey where it's like always hot. So you get that where I think I forget, but I think that might make it seem a little older sooner or something. I don't know. I don't remember. But Brown-Forman or Old Forester, Brown-Forman's the parent company. So they also run Jack Daniels as well. But Old Forester, they have heat cycled warehouses. If I remember correctly, don't quote me as fact, but their warehouses where they store the barrels are climate controlled.
Oh, dope.
So they don't typically like age state most of their stuff, but they control like, how hot it is, how cool it is. Like they have their whole, I guess, like recipe for doing all that.
Weather recipe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wild.
Which is, pretty crazy. It's probably pretty hot in there. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's well worth trying. I got this in a bundle with Jack Daniel's 10-year-old. So it was Jack Daniel's 10 plus like Jack Daniel's Bonded, which is really good. Like regular Jack Daniel's should just be Jack Daniel's Bonded. And then this one. So I was like, all right, here we go. You know? So yeah, it's pretty good. For my palate, it's just kind of light. For you, it seems like you're handling it decent.
No, I like it actually.
Okay. All right, that's
maybe
good.
Like I've been hanging out with you long enough now where I'm like, okay, can I cuss?
Yeah.
Cool, I can fucking do this.
You can fucking curse as much as you fucking want.
I can fucking take this. It's cool. It's not like burning my esophagus as it goes down.
Yeah, that's good.
I like it.
It is really crushable for 100 proof for sure. Like typically that's a little harder, I think, especially as people are starting out. But yeah, I'd agree. Even for me, like, and I mean, I know I do this a lot. Like I was drinking like 124 proof a couple hours ago, which might contribute to what. Well, I don't know. That was like after work though. That was like
but when you go up in proof, you get more of a punchier burn, right?
Yeah, like and you get more flavor, you know, because ultimately when it's lower proof, like they're cutting it with water, you know, so.
That's literally what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're methodical about it. Like they're proofing it down to something specific because the creators, the master distillers believe like, all right, this is like Wild Turkey 101. 101 proof, that's where it's at its best. That's what
literally what the numbers mean, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
it's
always thought it meant like a year that they came up with it or something.
No, that's proof is just the amount of alcohol. So you know, if something says like 50% ABV alcohol by volume, you double it. So that means it's 100 proof. You know, if it's 45, 90, and so on. But yeah, I love like the high proofs. Like Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style, which is 115 proof. Like that's the banger. That's what I usually get. At the Cove, I get that in my old fashioned. I like specifically. I'll pay the extra few bucks for that one because I love the taste it over everything. And it just has rich flavor, but
does it get to a point where like you know, like when you're eating salsa, like it gets too hot to enjoy the flavor? Like can you get to that point with whiskey for you? Like it's just too rough to enjoy the flavor?
Yeah, some get that way, or like I gotta like warm up to it.
Yeah. Like, what's the highest proof that you could even get or that you've had?
140. Well, besides like Bacardi 151 back in the day.
Oh, God. God.
When we're talking like bourbon, so when Jack Daniels released their Coy Hill, they did it again in 2024, but it wasn't like super high proof. When they did it a couple years ago, they were hazmat. So hazmat is over 140 proof. So you literally, like, it's illegal to take it on a plane and shit.
What?
Yeah, like literally hazardous material.
Oh, because it's flammable as hell.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, and I have one that is, mine is 142 proof, I think.
Okay.
But they went, like, the bottles ranged. They went up to, I think, as high as 147, 148.
That's crazy.
And the highest that I had tried was, I think, 144 was like the one. I haven't opened.
You enjoyed it?
But I did, yeah. It like, and it is pretty hot. Mm-hmm. And Jack Daniels, like, their single barrel. I wish I like brought one, but I have one right now that I'm trying to finish. That's 131.5 proof, and I love it, dude. It's like JD at its best. I don't know. You get used to it. And also, like, if the whiskey is really good, like the shit Jack Daniels does, like, they just have the high proof shit down to a science where it'll be a little hot, but it's still not like burning you. You know, like, the flavor still is stronger than just the heat. But there are some bourbons, I can't think of anything like at the moment where I've had them and they're like really hot. And I'm just like, this doesn't even can taste good. Yeah. They actually, so Old Forester Whiskey Rose series, and this is another thing where it's not even always proof. Like, they have one called Original Batch, like 1870 or whatever. I think that one's 90 proof. Then they have their bottled and bond, which is 100 proof like this, but I think tastes better. It's like leveled up. And even though the other one is 90 proof versus 100, so less alcohol, that one, their 1870 version, to me tastes way more hot. Mm-hmm. Like way more like burning, you know, which is interesting.
So
but
like a little bit of it's like probably formula and stuff too then, huh?
Just alcohol. Yeah, just, I don't know, just the alcohol, man. Like, I don't even know. There's a lot of factors, man. Like, there's a ton of factors in it. Yeah, this is actually getting better as it goes. This is for sure fucking crushable. Like, this is a bourbon that I can just like keep hitting, and I wouldn't
take your flask to the wedding.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, not bad.
The sweetness is actually coming out a little bit. It's got a nice like caramel, you know, nice and light. I'm gonna top myself up. You want a little more?
Sure.
Yeah, you can pour it yourself if you want, and have at it. Okay.
Is that too much?
No, you're good. I'm just like, that's a really good. No, that's a really good pour. Like on these Glencairn glasses, like right at the bowl, like that's where you want to live. That's probably like a solid 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces.
Damn.
That's good.
Sorry, man.
No, I'm glad that you dig it. Like this, I mean, I can get this anywhere, anytime. So it's not like, it's not the end of the world. Like, we could fucking finish this tonight if we wanted. There's some where I'd be like, no, I'll do it. Like,
pour a little back.
I'll do it for you. Like, I'll pour it for you.
Yeah, the one getting the good stuff, huh?
Yeah. But, dude, fucking mystery, man.
In a place called Champion City, the forces of good and evil
Captain Macy, what a surprise.
are about to collide.
Well, we've always been each other's greatest nemesis. Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Now, with the city's one true hero missing,
Captain Amazing is in danger.
Kaboom.
who will step forward
You again. Wannabes.
to answer the call of justice?
Don't mess with the volcano, my man, because I will go Pompeii on your butt.
Oh, golly.
They've been waiting for this moment
The city's in peril, Lucille.
all of their lives.
Butch needs his vest back.
Well, it's my vest, too. I bought it for him.
But now that their time has come,
I'm a superhero, too.
What's his power?
they're going to need all the help they can get.
We gotta find a lot of superheroes really quickly. State your name and power.
PMS Avenger. I only work 4 days a month. Is there a problem with that?
No. I am the Waffler. Waffle Man!
Am I too late to try out?
Sorry.
You're in.
Wow, my first mission and we're gonna rescue Captain Amazing.
Here we go.
We need to talk about your plans.
I'm going to kill you.
Right, that's the part that really doesn't work for me.
A new league of heroes that step to a different beat.
Well, I am a ticking time bomb of fury.
I don't find you threatening. At all.
We're not your classic heroes. We're the other guys.
mystery men.
I'm invisible. Can you see me?
Yes.
Wow.
You actually suggested this movie, and it's funny because I was thinking over the last like several months, like I got to check that movie out again. It kind of fell into obscurity.
Yeah.
You know, no one talks about it. I feel like
No
it's
one
very
talks
much
about it.
forgotten.
No, and I was like, have you ever seen Mystery Men?
Yeah, I saw this movie in theaters and everything, man.
Dang,
I remember I remember the Smash Mouth All-Star music video was like tied in with this movie where the scene of the music video was them when they're having the pool party to like recruit people.
I remember the more so than seeing the movie, I feel like I remember seeing the trailer and them hyping up the trailer, and specifically the scene where they're in their suits, right? And they're walking out with the new suits. That's such a cool scene. Yeah. It's like not, but it is.
Yeah.
You know? It's like you got to do one of those if they're making costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I gotta say, like watching this movie again, and I was excited for it because, you know, like I mentioned in the really prolonged intro I did, 1999, like pre-X-Men, pre-Sam Raimi Spider-Man, obviously pre-MCU. And this very much, I mean, we had the Batman movies at this point. Like we had, Tim Burton in 89 and 91 or 92. Then, Joel Schumacher took it over in 95. And I think Batman and Robin was 97. So we had that. And this very clearly, the aesthetic and like the production design and the CGI Champion City is so lifted from like Joel Schumacher's like vision of Gotham City and Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
I was going to ask,
so that was funny.
When did Sin City come out?
That was 2005.
So yeah. Okay,
Sin City, like the one we were talking about? Yeah, 2005.
Okay.
And did you watch it yet?
No, I haven't, but I like, there's certain scenes where it shows a city in the background. I'm like, it feels like Sin City might look like that.
A little bit, because they have this very gray kind of look. But no, Sin City is like in a whole other aesthetic fucking league of its own, man. But yeah, very much had that Joel like Schumacher vibe, like clearly influenced off that. And yeah, it's interesting. I wonder how this movie would play nowadays, like post.
It's very much like
MCU shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like a spoof on MCU before it came out, which is weird.
Yeah, like it's kind of satirical, right?
Yeah.
But
there was nothing. There wasn't like this comic book movie genre yet, as we know it today. Yeah, which is weird that you make a spoof on that. Yeah, and there's only a couple movies, but
yeah, because even though we had Batman, it's like Batman was still like a solo. It's just like Batman and Robin. But this movie, it's not like they just took that idea. It's a whole group.
It's a team. It's the Avengers essentially. It's the Avengers coming together with their weird powers. It's actually based on a comic book. I didn't know that until I like looked into it. But it's all these guys with odd powers. Yeah. It's hilarious. I mean, I thought it was hilarious when I was a kid. Watching it again, I was like, dang, this is kind of corny. It's rough. There's some good one-liners. Like, I loved every, like, forget about it. Or, when he says, like, the spoon and replacing words and stuff. Dude, yeah. I liked all those stupid dad jokes. Like,
yeah, I was hoping, because as a kid, I remember I thought it was funny enough, but watching it again after having not seen it like since I was a kid, I was really hoping there'd be a lot more jokes and humor that I would get now as an adult humor. Yeah. And there is some degree of that, but not as much as I would have liked. Like it still somehow feels almost like a kid's movie. Yeah. Like I do love, like I never appreciated as a kid, obviously the fact that Captain Amazing, Lance or whatever, has like the sponsors on it.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. Now I'm like, oh, he's like corporate. Yeah.
And that's another thing that like The Boys.
I was thinking that as well when I watched the movie again.
Like this was like a precursor to that as well.
Exactly.
Like the Pennzoil, and he's just like, we lost the Pepsi contract or whatever.
Exactly. And even like the corruption among superheroes too, to the point where it's like, oh, we have no villains left, so let's let the villain out.
So, like so we can keep making that money. Yeah, I thought that was funny. Stupid shit like the shoveler William H. Macy. And again, I love that they got like legit actors too.
That's
like,
crazy, huh?
They're all
what
folks
were they
that
thinking?
aren't messing around. I know the fact that they all did it. Like,
just going off my memory, I thought this was like a Ben Stiller like produced movie, and then
that's what I was thinking at first. I'm almost surprised it wasn't.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like
almost
corny,
surprised it
like
wasn't.
the freaking chocolate boot camp one. What is that one called? Fat camp, right?
Oh, heavyweights.
It's corny
That's
like
a
that.
heavy, but he didn't even. Well, that's a Judd Apatow movie.
Oh, is it?
That's a
I
fucking
thought that was
Judd
him.
Apatow.
No.
Ben Stiller's in it. He's
Yeah,
Tony
I thought
Perkins.
he produced that one too.
He may have played a little role as the producer. I don't remember.
Okay.
But it was like a Judd Apatow.
Oh, really?
I think he wrote it and he was the producer. I don't remember if he directed it or not. I don't think so.
Okay.
Which I love too. That's a movie that I do revisit every year or two.
Really?
I love Heavyweights.
I haven't seen it in forever.
Oh,
I haven't
dude.
seen it forever.
And I remember this is probably a decade ago now or even longer when I realized that, holy shit, Judd Apatow's name is in the credits. He's doing all this.
Yeah, I had no idea.
And this guy is like a big director now, whatever. But yeah. Well, and I mean, at this point, because we're in 99, so Ben Stiller he had already started his directing career. He had his show. He did Reality Bites, and then Cable Guy. I think that was like 96. So he was already well on his way. Cable Guy, that's another one I got to do on the
I don't know
on
if
the
I've seen that.
podcast.
I don't think so.
Really?
No.
That's one that was kind of, I think, pummeled and didn't do well. But
I'm thinking of
is another good
movie
satire.
with, what's his name? The Mask. Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. Cable Guy.
That's that movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I have seen it then.
Yeah. Yeah. And they go to
Ben Stiller
medieval times.
directed
Yeah,
that?
he directed that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, I have seen that movie.
Yeah. And it's some of that satire. It's like, okay, it makes sense that you would eventually, like years later, do Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A very different movie. I'm not saying, but just like the
Dang, for
satirical
real, huh?
elements. Yeah.
Tropic Thunder is so good.
Yeah. Tropic Thunder is one of the greatest comedies of all time, I think.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's in the pantheon.
Especially
in
at the
history
time it
of
came
movies.
out. Man, I was screaming in the theater, just laughing.
Yeah. I remember like in the theater, like I think I saw it with my dad and my older brother and like walking away and feeling like the same way I feel now. Like, yeah, that's one of the funniest movies ever. Like, period. Even the end fucking credits are hilarious.
Dude.
When Tom Cruise is dancing. Yeah.
That's I love Tom Cruise, and that's my favorite Tom Cruise role. Like, my favorite. Gets me every time.
He goes for it, man. I love that.
So
He goes for it.
He's like scorched earth. So good. I love it. So good.
Oh my god!
But
It's just
Mystery Man,
yeah,
not as good. Not as good.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk about Ben Stiller's other great projects.
Yeah, I think like I was just. It wasn't boring. I'll tell you that. It's not like I just remember I saw Machete.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was 1 or 2 in theaters. It was the one with Lady Gaga.
the second one.
I saw it in theaters and like I was to the point where I was like, I just kind of want to ask for my money back. Like I can't even sit through this. Like, but I didn't feel that way with this movie. Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, buddy.
No, we were just talking about
Sorry, bro.
Hey, they can't all be hitters. Sin City 2.
Funny enough, we were just
sucked.
talking about it the other night.
Sin City 2 sucked as well.
Yeah, I just remember seeing it and just like, what am I doing with my life? And I didn't feel that way even rewatching this movie. I was like smiling at least.
Yeah.
I wasn't laughing, but I was like, ha.
No, it was fun, and to recall just certain moments too. Like I always remember Eddie Izzard putting on I forget the name of the song, but he puts the record on, and I just remember he's in the big room and he's just like, it's so random.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, why is there this little scene?
Eddie Izzard is Captain Barbosa?
No,
who's that?
he's the henchman, like the disco guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
that gets killed by the bowler.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Rush is Casanova Frankenstein.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Barbosa.
Casanova Frankenstein.
He's another one that goes for it. I think he's one of those like, what happened? What was the last movie he was in? I can't even remember, but he goes hard. Like he's an underappreciated
dude with
actor.
his pinky in the movie. I was like, oh, I was cringing. I was like, this is corny now. Yeah. But yeah, he's a good actor too. What's going on with this movie?
Yeah, for real. Talking before, like one of the other kind of moment or lines that I think is really funny that I never caught as a kid is when fucking William H. Macy, the shoveler, goes back to his wife, and there's something I don't know. There's just something funny about it being like an interracial.
I was gonna ask you like, what's up with that? Like,
well, you know, they did that like for sure. They did that as a joke.
Yeah,
and because William H. Macy, great actor, but he also seems like the whitest of the white guys too. Exactly. So I think that's part of it.
And like, what? Her name's like Lucille too, right?
I think so. That sounds right. God gave me a gift. I shovel well, very well, and that's when you realize he's wearing like a catcher's padding, like chest pad, or I don't even know what you would call that. And she just like, oh, like your son needs that for practice. You gotta, put it back or whatever.
So I paid for it.
Yeah. I forgot all about like the Hank Azaria, like living with his mom.
Yeah.
And because he's so
he doesn't even have the accent. Yeah. He doesn't even have the accent.
Like that did make me laugh. I forgot all about that.
Same.
Like you realize his accent is just all bullshit. Yeah. Like the blue Raja.
The blue Raja is the night. He's like, you're not even fucking wearing blue. Like that's funny.
Oh man.
Yeah, and the spleen, till today, I genuinely remembered it as Michael Myers playing that role.
That's fine.
I think it's the teeth and like Austin Powers or something. But for some reason, I was like, all-star cast, Michael Myers is in it.
Yeah.
And it's totally
Paul Rubens,
Pee Wee Herman. Yeah.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
That's one thing. Like even as a kid, I never liked that character just because like I think that's gross. Like that kind of humor.
I've never been into fart humor.
Yeah, ever. Same. The only time it's been really funny to me, the only time is Dumb and Dumber.
Which
the laxative scene.
Oh yes,
that's the only time. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, okay, that's funny. I feel like I'm in the minority of like not being into that.
No, my mom was pretty like much a prude, so I never really got into that stuff. She was like, "We're above that."
Yeah.
I'm like, all right,
okay,
we're above toilet humor.
Yeah,
yeah. No, I'm not a big fan of it. I'd rather, cursing and stuff like that. That makes me laugh.
I like the addition of Kel Mitchell too is Invisible Boy.
Kel, I know. That was good. I forgot all about him.
Really?
I forgot about his character completely.
I did like too how there's this kind of idea too where when he's explaining his power to them and he's like, I just feel like people just don't see me. They're like, okay, so can you do it or not? But when they go home, and this is just like a subtle little joke, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to my room with 3 strangers."
I thought that was funny.
And his dad like doesn't react, and it's like, oh, I guess he is invisible to people, his family.
Another little line joke I like too, when he goes invisible, they turn around, they see him, and then I forgot who says like, "Oh, 2 hands, buddy."
So subtle.
Yeah.
I didn't even catch that. That was a good payoff though when he actually did. Like, he's probably the only person there who like literally has a power, but they don't even know because it's like, well, I turn invisible. Just this whole idea, like I turn invisible, but no one can look at me.
Yeah.
And then when they're like trying to take it in, like, so you don't turn invisible? Like we just don't. I mean, I guess
like him and the blue chick are like the only real power. Oh, I guess they all kind of.
We're looking for the one they call the Invisible Boy.
Wow. All my life, I've been ignored by people. And finally, after years of being overlooked, I found I had the power to disappear. I mean, it's real ironic how it happened.
Think we could come in?
Yeah, sure. Come on. Thank you. Hey, Dad, I'm going to my room with 3 strange men.
So, let me get this straight. You do have the ability to become invisible.
Yes.
But you can't give us a demonstration.
No. I can only become invisible when no one's watching.
So, you're only invisible to yourself?
Oh, no. If I look at myself, I become visible again.
So, you can only become invisible when absolutely nobody is watching you?
Yes.
Do forgive our incredulity, but I'm wondering how you can be certain you've achieved transparency at all.
Well, when you go invisible, you can feel it.
Okay, I'm leaving.
Thanks a lot. It was nice to meet.
Thank you.
Hey guys, don't go.
Well, what's funny too is like Wes Studi, who plays oh my god, what are they? The Prowlers, not the Prowler, the one who's like training them.
Oh,
who's like
Phoenix. No,
the Phoenix.
The
Yeah,
Phoenix. Yeah.
Is it Phoenix or Sphinx?
Sphinx.
I
It might
think.
be the
Let me
Sphinx.
look it up. Yeah,
For
Sphinx.
some reason, I remembered him dying too for some reason.
Really?
And they were like, we got to do it for him.
Yeah.
That's probably like every other comic book movie.
I just like, it's funny that they're talking about how he's someone who actually has powers and he's another badass like Captain Amazing. You know, he can cut guns in half with his mind. And when he does that, when they cuts all the guns of the dudes and they run off and he starts training them, but we never see
that again.
Yeah,
He never does shit.
He doesn't do anything. He's just holding one of the big guns there, but doesn't do anything. And I did think, first, I think the casting of Wes Studi is like brilliant for that kind of role where he's like a mentor. And just saying
when they
all
call
these,
him out, it's like everything you say is like. I forgot exactly what he said. That shit was funny.
Yeah, it's when Ben Stiller wants to leave.
Why do you stand aside while the others practice?
Practice? That's not practicing. That's group hugging. We should be busting in on Casanova right now.
He who questions training only trains himself at asking questions.
What?
Ah, yes. Work well on your new costumes, my friends. For when you care for what is outside, what is inside cares for you.
You know, the clock is ticking here. Are we gonna sew dresses all day or are we gonna rescue Amazing? I need a thimble. Anybody?
Patience, my son. To summon your power for the conflict to come, you must first have power over that which conflicts you.
Okay, am I the only one who finds these sayings just a little bit formulaic? If you want to push something down, you have to pull it up. If you want to go left, you have to go right.
Your temper is very quick, my friend. But until you learn to master your rage...
Your rage will become your master? That's what you were going to say, right? Right?
Not necessarily.
Or what's one of the really stupid jokes too, but it did make me laugh, is when he says something to Ben Stiller about how he has to be calm and calm his mind or blah, blah, blah. And he's like, all right. He's like, so what about the watermelon on my feet? And he's just like, I don't remember telling you to do that. It's so stupid.
That's so
it's such
late
a dumb
90s humor.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, it's so dumb. But I think just because it's so dumb and I vaguely remembered it. So when it got there, it made me laugh, man. But
Criminy, you're the Sphinx.
And you are fools. To learn my teachings, I must first teach you how to learn. Learn to hide your strikes from your opponents and you more easily strike his hide. How many weapons do you wield?
Just one, Sphinx.
No. The fist, the knee, the elbow, the head. You must lash out with every limb like the octopus who plays the drums.
Why am I doing this again?
When you can balance attack hammer on your head, you will head off your foes with a balanced attack.
And why am I wearing the watermelon on my feet?
I don't remember telling you to do that.
well, dude, when they have that pool party where they're auditioning superheroes, another thing I guess I never would have known this at that time, but Dane Cook was the waffler. The first guy that comes up, he's like, I'm the waffler. And
That was Dane Cook?
Oh, wow, that was Dane Cook.
What?
And then Doug Jones was like the pencil head guy with like Son of Pencil Head.
Okay.
Doug Jones is like the tall actor that
was
in a ton of shit. He's always playing like monsters and stuff. Yeah, I thought that was super funny. The Michael Bay thing, when they're having that meeting, he gets all the gangs together. It's like the disco gang. And the Susies is like the Asian guys that wear makeup or some shit. And there's like the girls in the tight dresses and the frat boys. Michael Bay was the head frat boy that's like sitting there.
That was Michael Bay?
That was Michael Bay. And when they're talking, he's like, I'm gonna give you the tour.
Can we bring our drinks?
Yeah, he's like, can we bring the brewskis?
Yeah.
Like Michael Bay, so random.
That's Michael Bay.
So random that he has a cameo in this.
It's funny.
And this is post, like The Rock and shit.
Yeah.
And CeeLo Green was one of the rapper gang members too.
I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah.
That was CeeLo Green?
Yeah, CeeLo Green was one
I
of those
was
guys.
like thinking like, I bet you that's like a real rapper or something.
Yep.
Dang, okay.
All-star cast.
Dang.
It's so random, right?
What was the
it's
budget
crazy
like?
to think.
I think it said
I'm
60
gonna look
million
it
or
up.
something.
60?
60, I think.
68 million.
Yep. And gross what? 30 something?
Yeah, gross worldwide 33. Yeah, 33 mil. Ooh, rough.
Yeah. What? What do you think movies were going for around back then? You think that's pretty average, or?
I was almost going to think it was on the high end for
Yeah.
something like this, but maybe a little on the high end. Yeah, but that's probably right. Like the tens of millions. I mean, sounds about right. I would guess something like.
So what's the biggest right now? Like 3 billion or something? What?
Well, I don't think anyone's made a movie for $1 billion.
Really?
Yeah, like made a movie for $1 billion. No, grossed. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know that there was a lot of talk because the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny that crossed, I think, like 400 or 500 million.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of like talk about that, like how fucking wild that was.
That movie
like,
did horribly, huh?
Yeah, and it did not do well.
Never saw it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
you
sad,
can't beat the original 3.
That's sad.
It is sad, yeah. Man, now I got to look it up. It probably made back like its budget at least, but it wasn't like a big massive hit, you know?
Yeah.
Which is what they all want.
Yeah, it ended that director dude's career as a movie producer or movie director.
James Mangold? No, he did it.
No, I'm sorry,
unknown.
the guy from Mystery Men.
The Kinka.
Yeah, his
went back to commercials.
68 million budget. Yeah, went back to commercials.
All right, 387,200,000 gross worldwide. 383 million, so it didn't quite hit the mark. Sheesh.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man, commercial director, like you were saying, and got his break in this in this movie, and it didn't do well, and he's all right, back to the commercial grind.
That's rough.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what that was like. Like, did the studio hire him? You know, did they did they interview people? Did they want him to do it because they already knew him, or did he push the project to get made? I would actually be kind of curious to see a little more of to know a little more of the genesis about this. But I couldn't really find any interviews on YouTube or anything that were much about that. Like, that's something where I feel like I'd have to
don't want to talk about it.
Like, I'd have to buy the DVD and like hope they were doing commentaries back then. I think they were 99. I think
that sucks. Do you think it was the script or do you think it was the direction? I think it's just like, how do you make such a corny freaking thing?
Yeah, I think it starts with the script, right? Like, you have the actors.
How do you make that good?
Yeah, and one thing I appreciate too is like it's weird. There's this line where I don't want to say they were taking it too seriously, like they knew what they were in, but you could tell they were going for it and they were having fun. Like, they leaned in to how ridiculous their characters are.
Yeah.
You know, like Hank Azaria is great, and he does a lot of comedy. So he does the voices on The Simpsons. So he gets it. Like, Ben Stiller's always been like a big comedy guy. But then you have someone like Wes Studi and like William H. Macy that play it so straight, but it works. Like, it actually works really well. Like, I completely buy those characters. And like Janeane Garofalo, like, I would completely buy her. And like everyone, I think the cast actually does really well with what they're given.
Yeah.
They toe that line, you know?
It's not like they could have done much differently.
Yeah. And it doesn't come across like, oh, wow, you didn't know what fucking movie you were in. Because there's some, I can't think of one right now, but sometimes you get that in a movie where it's like, oh, you think you're making something way fucking different. And even then it's like, okay, how much of that is the actor, but how much of that is the director for not steering them in the correct way, you know? That stuff's always interesting to me, is like, where do you draw those lines? And it's always different for every project, every filmmaker.
What actor versus what director and how they're going to work together.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder, man. I mean, script, and it just like, I don't know, just sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. I think it was just maybe a little too cheesy, or maybe people weren't ready for it. Like, it would be interesting if this movie were to come out now, you know, but obviously like a better in script, like something that was improved for the time. But but you know, at the same time, it's like now the satire we get on the superhero genre is shit like The Boys, Invincible, dark, and exactly, which I think probably plays better, you know,
100%.
And then even, you know, I know Judd Apatow, I think, has like a Netflix show or movie or something that's like a superhero based thing. I think it was Apatow. Maybe it's someone else. I haven't watched it, but there's some shit on one of those streaming sites.
Like, let's say tomorrow someone was like, Rudy, we got 60 million here's the script. But if you don't make a good movie, like, you're blacklisted, bro. You taking that Mystery Men script? You think you could do a different job than Tika? What was his name?
Kinka. I don't know. Probably not. I'd be real tempted to take that money though. Like, what would my rate? Even $1 million sounds pretty nice,
right?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good right about now. Yeah, no, that's one of those funny things where I don't know what I would do differently. Yeah. And then now, if you're asking me now too, because then it's like, again, all right, well, I have to compete against The Boys and Invincible. Yeah. How do I do that? How do you think
the CGI was that bad for the time?
It was pretty rough. Yeah, I mean, it's better than
like what was like the best CGI coming out around that time?
We're in '99.
Yeah.
God, I cannot think about it right now. But the first thing that does come to mind is Terminator fucking 2 from like 1991.
Okay.
That still has better CGI than every sequel they've made since then. Straight up, like how that happens, I don't know. And I watched it on the big screen.
I haven't seen it in forever. So,
oh, dude, it holds up so well. Like I got the Blu-ray for the podcast like a year ago and finally watched it after like years. And I grew up on that shit. Watched it all the time, and I was like, wow, man, this shit still looks good. Yeah. And then the Vista played it, so I saw like a film print from back in the day. Big screen, and I'm like, dude, it still looks good.
Really?
Like, even you're thinking, all right, you're gonna see the flaws. I'm like, it still looks fucking great. Like, how did we get worse?
Yeah.
2001: A Space Odyssey still looks better than some sci-fi movies.
True
like that was 1968 or whatever. Like, how did we not?
When was The Matrix?
Oh, I think that was 99.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was 99. Yeah. So yeah, Matrix. Yeah, I'm thinking. The other day I watched Escape from L.A. John Carpenter's Escape from LA, and that movie has laughable CGI, dude. It's so bad. And that was 97. So yeah, the weird like late 90s was when people were starting to use it more, but it definitely wasn't ready. And in this one, I mean, it didn't bother me that much because surprisingly, I don't quite think it was overused. Like they used
it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. Didn't bother me.
Yeah, the city shots, they used like the bowling ball, of course.
Yeah.
The some of the weapons and stuff. But yeah, it actually, they were pretty, I don't know, conservative with it now that I think about it.
Because like the more recent DC movies, I think the CGI was just horrible and it took me out.
Dude, The Flash,
it sucked me out of the movie.
Rough, so rough. Yeah, the Justice League one.
And like this movie's quote unquote superhero movie, used CGI, and I feel like it didn't suck me out of it. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't overuse it. And I think there is, I know for me, I automatically give it a little, like, my tolerance goes up just because I know, like, all right, it's 1998 or whatever. Yeah, wasn't too crazy.
Would you throw it on again, like in a year or two?
I think I would. I almost wish, because I watched it.
Would you consider it a cult classic for yourself?
A cult classic? No, it fell into too much obscurity, I think.
Okay.
Like, I'll consider, like Heavyweights is a cult classic.
Okay. Blank Man?
Blank Man. I don't know if I can call it a cult classic. I think that's another one that's fallen too much into obscurity too. Not even just for me, but for people in general. Like I almost want to do a poll on the Instagram, like who's seen Blank Man? I wonder how many people would even
Blank Man versus Mystery Men. Yeah.
And that one I was looking it up on to see if it was streaming anywhere, and I don't think it is. I think I have to I'm going to have to rent it, or I'm definitely going to have to go and find a fucking
DVD.
Out of print DVD. But yeah, I think they were just forgotten,
I hardly remember Blank Man. I would love to run that again. That'd be fun.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely down. We'll talk about that soon.
Yeah, but yeah, I just remember Mystery Man being like my first favorite movie, superhero movie. Like,
yeah, really favorite movie.
I think just because it's the team vibe, versus like Superman and Batman. There's like coming together superheroes. It's more than one. It's badass. And then I remember League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was kind of the same vibe. Like,
yeah.
I think I knew back then it wasn't a good movie. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Like super cool. All these superheroes come together, which I think League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is probably a better movie, but also not great.
Yeah. Definitely made, what's his name, retire.
Sean Connery?
Yeah. No, I'm sure he was already ready to be done. But
yeah.
Good Lord.
I'm waiting to be impressed.
I'll talk about that later, but Yeah, man, there was like one other, I don't know. There's a section of dialogue that I think is funny, but now I'm like suddenly forgetting it. But I think people just need to go see it. I think if you haven't seen it in a while, listeners, like go rent it, go find it. I don't remember.
It's not boring. That's for sure. You won't be bored.
Yeah. It's
There's
worth
worse
checking
things you
out.
could watch that are coming out these days.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out. I don't know that I have much more to say about it. Oh, I think it's really funny that they killed Greg Kinnear, Captain Amazing, by accident.
Yeah.
With the,
yeah, that was good. That was good.
They just fucking murder him.
That was good. Never. They don't really address that after either.
Yeah.
Like, you guys killed
they just grill Hank Azaria about don't touch any levers.
Yeah,
like
any levers. Switches. Yeah. That's funny.
Oh man. I thought there was more to it, but yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I think that's all I've got to say on it. Fucking mystery, man.
I mean, we talk about the evil science? No, the good scientists. He's like, I don't make lethal weapons. Like, of course. It's a ray gun.
Tom Waits, yeah.
Their clothes
Shrinks your clothes, yeah.
The point you can't take it.
Can tornado.
Yeah. Oh, I like all the jumbled up shit he's saying when they call him about like what the weapon is. And he's just making up words.
The fucking I'm forgetting.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy ass movie. Go watch it, everybody. Sorry, it's just so stupid. Ben Stiller's character too, Mr. Furious, where his whole power is that he just gets super angry, but he doesn't actually do anything. He just gets hurt and can't do shit.
I like how that's like they don't even really hint at that's his character's flaw till like the third quarter of the third act. You know, that's his character development. It's like all in the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is kind of funny when they're like, we need you back, man. And he's just like, what do I do? I just get mad. He's like,
yeah.
He's like, it's really dumb.
Yeah.
Man, all right, shit. Well, fucking A, Mystery Men. Yeah, that's that, everybody. Mystery Men, Old Forester 100. Try it out. Grab a glass. Go check out the movie. And one of these days, Shane will be back to talk about Blank Man.
Until then.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thank you for listening to the Drinks in a Movie podcast. You can now find us on Instagram at Drinks in a Movie Pod, where we'll be posting photos from all the various films that we discuss. You can also email us at drinksinamoviepod@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and thank you for listening.